Hi everybody, I'm Michael Ruckman, President and CEO of Centeo. Wanted to share with you the story, kind of the backstory behind the Surviving and Thriving series that we've had out over the last 6 months. Now the first series that we shot, the first playlist called Surviving and Thriving in a Time of Coronavirus, we shot with my friend Marcus Guest, who's the CEO of Power Maps. And we shot it right after we had the last kind of physical world's conference on March 12th and 13th. And we had a camera crew ready and we thought, let's just shoot this. Let's shoot a conversation. What an interesting time to be talking about strategy and leadership in a time of crisis. And that turned out to be a huge success. We got so much feedback from it and people liked the fact that it was a conversation, not an interview or a presentation with slides or something like that. So I thought, let's just keep going. So after that, with Joe Pine, the author of The Experience Economy, we did another playlist called Surviving and Thriving in the Experience Economy. After that, a person from our expert advisory board, Mikhail Myakov, who's a PhD in game theory, we thought, let's talk about education and game theory in the time of coronavirus and how people are reacting and how people are taking decisions. So after the talk with Misha, we were already a few months into the pandemic and we thought, okay, maybe this is a good time to come back to this topic of crisis management and leadership now that we've actually seen how people are behaving and what's really happening here. So we came back to that topic with my friend Stuart Lawson, who was the former CEO of HSBC and was a crisis manager for Citibank for a number of years. After that, we talked with Alexei Marais on social responsibility and financial literacy and how Russian banks were responding to the crisis. So by this point, we were already into early July with protests all across the United States. And I thought, what if we have a conversation with my friend Mark Tribbett, who's a PhD and a professor of strategy at Pepperdine in the US. And we thought, let's maybe take some of the concepts of what we know about change management, strategy, and managing transformation in business and apply those to the potential change management that would be needed to actually achieve this kind of equality and social harmony that we're seeking. So that was a really interesting discussion. And then finally, over the last month, we had several modules with John Barry, who's the CEO of EFMA, the European Financial and Marketing Association, which is actually a huge association of banks around the world. And there we talked about customer-centric banking and what that means. And so we really covered this pandemic and the health crisis from a number of different angles, and we had some really interesting discussions. And as I said, people enjoyed these because they were conversations, discussions around topics that were important for everybody at the time. And I have to say, the last 6 months has been extremely interesting with everything that's happening in the world, and I'm really glad we had this series of conversations. So I encourage everybody to check out the playlists. There's 7 separate playlists on our YouTube channel. So hope to see you more and more often on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe because we have more content coming out every week, sometimes 3-4 times a week with new video modules, and enjoy the content.